Hi, we're the Clark family, and we've sold our house and packed up our lives and moved to Galicia in northern Spain.
So follow us as we start our new lives, learn new skills, join a new community, and try to live a more sustainable life.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Escape to El Campo. Apologies for a start because we promised you several weeks ago that we'd be doing a video each week from now on, didn't we?
We did.
However, we this time we've got a genuinely good excuse, and it's not we got stuck in a bar. Is it? Not this time.
It's definitely not we got stuck in a bar.
No, as some of you longer term viewers might know, I've got a slight I've got a heart issue. And my pacemaker stopped working, so I had to go into hospital and get jump started. Well, not literally jump started, rewired. They had to rewire my pacemaker back into my heart because somehow I'd pulled the cable out of my heart, so I was struggling getting around a bit, weren't I, and breathing and stuff like that. So yeah, genuine excuse this time. So yeah. So for all of you lot who think we're stuck in a bar somewhere, Mala.
For the record, I'm never stuck in a bar anywhere. I'm Little Miss Prim and Proper.
Yes. So yeah, we're back and we've got some things lined up. I'm back to sort of full health again. So back walking. I've even ridden my bike a little bit as well. So now I can breathe properly. Everything's good. So a little bit of a catch up over the last few weeks, really, isn't it? I guess.
Yeah, it's mostly tomato news.
Is that a thing?
Well,
Do we need to have a newsreel thing?
Well, you did mention a good few months ago when we first planted the potatoes that we planted so many potatoes that we're going to be able to have tomato festival. Do you remember?
No, potato festival.
Potato
surely.
festival, yes. But we've planted so many tomatoes that we might be able to have a tomato festival.
We could sell them to Pamplona, can't we? That's where they do is it the Tomatillo? Is that what it's called? Tomatillo Festival, something like that?
I don't know.
Where they get the lorry?
Yeah, I know what it is, but I don't know what it's called.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, cue to some videos now of before and after Adam went into hospital and why we're not going to be having a tomato festival. QVT. Look at this absolutely incredible Frankenstein tomato that I've took off, mostly because it clearly isn't going to be edible, so I would rather the plant not waste its energy on continuing to grow it. But it's at least 2, maybe 3 joined together. Maybe more, maybe it's 4 joined together. Not sure. Crazy. He's going in the compost bin anyway. So the outside tomatoes haven't really been doing very well, to be honest. It's been too cold at night and it's been too wet, and I've spent all of my time sort of focusing on looking after the inside tomatoes that are now growing great guns and they've got loads of tomatoes on. So these ones outside have been kind of abandoned, apart from the occasional weeding, which you can see that I've not really kept on top of. I've just kind of left them to it. However, as you can see, they have now started to grow, and the ones down the other end have actually gone mad, and I shouldn't have abandoned them, and I've let them down, and now I've got some work to do. Adam has put these sticks in, this stick and then that stick in there for us, because this twine, whilst the job's doing well with holding them up, in fact it's doing the perfect job inside. Outside, because obviously it's been getting wet, it stretched it. So it isn't doing so well. And some of these are nearly now at the top of the rope. So I've got to do some work on these. I've got to sort out some of the armpit bits. I mean, this one, for example, the top has snapped off of it. So it started growing itself from the side. Oh, you can't see, there's a leaf in the way. The top has snapped off of this. So it started growing itself out of the side. So I've got to work out what to do with that. This one is just a big mess. So I've got to try and work out what I'm going to do with these. Some of them I think are perhaps still going to need some sticks for a bit of support, but we shall get on with it. And just there, I have a tea delivery. Isn't she beautiful?
2 teas because Dad's actually inside, which I did not realise.
Oh, and where's my headphones?
You asked for... Sorry, I'll go get them.
She did half a job, but you know. While I'm talking about tomatoes, down here, so that side of this row, there's peas that are growing and sugar snap peas, and then this side on the trellis, I planted. These are all cucumbers that clearly are doing all right, and then in this massive blank space here, I planted some melons that I put out too early, but randomly there's a tomato plant, and I can only think that I used all of our compost here that we'd made in the previous 6 months, and it must be a tomato that was in the compost and it had not got hot enough to kill the seeds, and now it's just kind of growing himself just there. I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm going to leave it and let it do its own thing, so it's bushed out rather than gone tall. It's going to be difficult to do anything with anyway because of the way that it's sort of growing itself in and around all the trellis and stuff, and it's going to get its own support from that, and it's going to, as the branches are coming out from the side, like the armpit bits as I call them that I would normally pull out, they're still being supported. So yeah, I'm just going to kind of leave him to do his own thing. And there is a second one. Where is he? Now he's not quite so tall, but he's just here. So it's super strange the way that they've grown, and they've also grown in the perfect place as well, right up next to the trellis, so that they can get a bit of support. This one's not got any tomatoes on it yet, but yeah, I'll keep you updated what happens with them. Good afternoon. It's been nearly a month since I did those videos that you've just watched of our tomatoes, with Adam being in hospital and then me not being very well afterwards. It's just been a case of doing little bits of jobs as and when we could kind of squeeze them in and around, looking after each other basically. So I left you with saying that I was going to do some work on the tomatoes to try and give them some more support, and it's fair to say that I did, and support well needed, and I shall show you now what I mean. So first of all, these are them cucumbers that I showed you that were just starting to grow. And now they're actually putting out cucumbers. So, ouch, prickly cucumbers. So that's that. One of them did actually die, and I can only assume it's because it got too hot, or because all my shadow's in the way, or because a little mousey got it, so that one died. But this is that volunteer tomato that I said that had grown itself from compost, and the trellis is supporting it. I have tied it back in a couple of places because it was starting to encroach on the pathway, which was making it difficult for Adam to mow the pathways. But it's putting out tomatoes. Now I don't even know what kind of tomato that must be from the shape of it, so I don't know. Something that we have noticed though, I don't know whether you can see this tomato just here with this hole in it, whether it's going to focus on it or not, I don't know. I don't think it is. Yep, there. Something keeps laying its eggs inside of our tomatoes, and then the babies keep like burrowing themselves out again. I don't know what that is. It's not really nice. But yeah, there's there's volunteer tomato number 1. This tomato is one where other plants have put out babies off the bottoms, and I've just stuck it in the ground to see what it would do. And there's another one of those babies. And then this, oh hello Albert, I did not know you were outside. And then this is another one of the volunteer tomatoes, and again this must be a cherry tomato by the shape of what's coming out of them. Just God knows what the other ones are, but so there's them. And then this is the row of all the other ones. So I've had to put in some other sticks to give them some support. Some of them they've got so tall that the tops have broken off. But yeah, they're all putting out tomatoes now. So this is one of the sticks that I put in. I kind of just, the ground was too hard for it to go in the ground, so I kind of balanced it with twisting the actual twine around it. Same on the other side, which you can just about make out there. But yeah, they are now as tall as the poles and the ropes, and that one's clearly much taller. But doing all right. This one here put out a baby, and I thought, well, you're not putting out very many tomatoes, and not all of our tomato plants had survived. I mean, for example, that pathetic one that's not doing anything. Apologies if you can hear Albert heavy breathing in the background. It's too hot for you to be outside here, doggy. So yeah, that one I've just kind of put up a bit of a stick to support it. That one, that needs coming off. Got a bit of maintenance to do again on them. Just feels a bit never ending, really. Oh, that. And then the other ones at the other end that I said that weren't doing very well at all, I'm very pleased to say they are all also now growing and putting out tomatoes. So we have got loads. It's quite humorous actually, because some of them are absolutely tiny. Goodness knows why. I've never seen any tomatoes this small. Some of the inside plants are putting out really, really teeny tiny tomatoes as well. I mean, look at them. That's not even a snack for a mouse, that's not. It's quite funny. But then other ones are... Can't get that to focus. Where is it? Other ones are absolutely huge. So yeah, this is another tomato that, look, something's burrowing inside it, and that one. I'd love to know what is doing that. It's currently 34 degrees outside. I'm going to show you the tomatoes inside the polytunnel. I'm going to do this very, very fast because it's unbearable for me in here. Let's see what the temperature... Yeah, the temperature gauge says it is 50 degrees in here. Probably higher, doesn't go any higher than that. So we'll be very fast. So, we had a nightmare. So my previous video said that the twine in here was doing a lot better than it was outside. That's a lie, it fell down. So there's lots of bits of string now up into the roof where I've had to kind of tie it to the top of the polytunnel. It's too hot, I can't think. Also, I'm going to wipe my screen because I think it's a bit sweaty. So we've actually eaten quite a lot of tomatoes from this already, and this is what I mean by them putting out some mini ones. But yeah, we've eaten loads of tomatoes off this one. There are some more coming, thankfully. But yeah, so absolutely loads and loads of them. And yeah, I do need to do some maintenance in here as well, but it's just unbearably hot. I can't face being in here for great lengths of time. So these are cherry tomatoes on here, and as you can see, they're doing well. I mean, some of these vines are absolutely huge that are coming off them. Yeah, and loads again on that one there, and they are, like that one particularly is now at the top of its string. And these ones on this side, I'm going to wipe my camera again because it's sweaty. These ones this side, these are growing so well. that I have started putting in. Oh, something's attacking me. I have started putting in some strings up here for them to start. Well, that's nearly at the roof there, so that's not really got any further to go. These ones on this side are all tomatoes for making salsa, for making like passata or pizza sauce, or you know, that kind of thing, pasta sauce, that sort of thing. But yeah, so here's another crazy vine, crazy tomato vines. So yeah, they're doing really, really well. And then over here, these are all melon plants. So let's hop over. And there's a melon. The only one. Oh no, there's two, apologies. There's one just there as well. I don't know if you can see that. In there, another melon. We're not sure what kind of melons these are. These are the ones that Adam forgot to label when we seeded them. So that's quite funny. But yeah, there's loads of flowers and stuff on them. I'm hoping that you can still see these and my camera lens hasn't gone too sweaty. So yeah, and then down this end, these are our pepper plants that are finally starting to do something. This is a yellow pepper. So it's got one on there. This is padron. So they're a bit like jalapenos. They're a local kind of pepper. Sometimes they're hot, sometimes they're not. And then red peppers. So there is a pepper in there. And some flowers in there as well. So I hope you're actually able to see that. We did have some cucumbers in here, and here. And they got something that looked a bit like a mildew thing. Good morning. I gave up yesterday. It was ridiculous. My phone died from overheat inside that polytunnel. So I've come out first thing in the morning, where I think you can just about make out that it's a lot more overcast first thing in the morning. However, I had to go into the polytunnel, and I mean, it's still 25 degrees in here. So it's not cold in here at all. But yeah, I'm going to do some maintenance on these tomatoes because it has been so hot. They've been a bit abandoned, and there's bits that are growing that shouldn't be growing. I mean, loads of bits that are growing that shouldn't be growing. And also loads of red tomatoes that need coming off and turning into salsa. So, yeah, there's another one of them things made a hole in a tomato. This is also another monster tomato where loads have all joined together. What's going on with that? I don't know. What keeps doing that? Anyway, off I go, get some work done while it's a bit cooler. Right, if you're squeamish, look away now. I think I've answered the question. I don't think that's... Whatever these little bugs are here, they are all in there. I don't know what they are. I'm going to do a reverse Google image search and I'll let you know. So they're wood lice. That's what they are, them little buggers that are eating my tomatoes. And there's not a lot I can do about it, apparently. Apparently they don't like peppermint oil and they don't like lavender oil. But if the tomatoes have already got holes in, then it's already too late. So from looking at the plants, I think I've lost quite a few. But I'll have to have a look at getting some oil and getting rid of these buggers, because there are absolutely tons. I never ever knew that they would eat tomatoes, but there we go. So it appears that wood lice isn't our only problem. That's some sort of moth, caterpillar, just there. Little bugger. So from what I read about, where is he? There he is. So from what I read about woodlice is that actually they carry their larvae in their stomach, in like a pouch on their stomach, and then they hatch there and they carry tiny little babies, a bit like what kangaroos do. And then they go into holes to sort of grow and to eat before they're ready to leave the hole. So this little bugger is what's creating the hole. So, you know, I'm glad that we planted so many tomato plants, because I do seem to be losing quite a lot in here. I mean, I'm getting rid of all of the nasty leaves that are just starting to go brown now, but in here there's loads of tomatoes that have got holes in, or have gone mouldy, or like that. So that's where the woodlice eggs are going. They're going into these holes. And there, look, you can actually see eggs on that one. There you go, now it's in focus, I think. It's quite bright, so it's quite difficult to see my screen, so I apologise if this is all really terrible recording. And again, this one's actually got babies in it, still crawling around. So, any ideas what I can do, please let me know. I would very much appreciate it. So I nipped out to go and help the boys move the chicken tractor with our meaty chickens in it. And when I came back, my phone refused to record because it's got too hot in here again. It says, is it going to focus? My phone's really having problems, isn't it? About 43 degrees. So I'm not going to venture in too much. I have finished off pretty much stringing up the tomatoes on the left hand side that needed a bit of extra growing space. I've trimmed it all back and I've picked all the tomatoes that are ready. Now unfortunately I've had to bin more tomatoes than what I've managed to keep. This is the collection of ones that we're keeping. The ones at the far side are either cherry or something called Marmande tomatoes. They're for eating salad. And these ones here are a mixture of Corazon and I think they're called Gigante Rosa tomatoes, and they're more for making like tomato sauce and passata and that kind of thing from. And I'm not saying that I had abandoned these tomatoes for a long time or anything, but this is the pile of tomatoes that's come off. They're like the armpity bits. I'm not sure what the real word is. I probably should Google that rather than keep saying armpity bits. But yeah, you can see that there's loads of tomatoes in here. Absolutely loads of them, which is a real shame, but they're just been eaten by the woodlice and them wormy things. But it was amazing actually. It was quite amazing really. We do have quite a lot of red ants that live in our polytunnel, and there was a few of those caterpillary things that fell on the floor as I was trimming the tomatoes, and these red ants were just kind of ambushing them, and just like a fight would ensue, and then the ants would win, and then off this caterpillar would go into a little hole to go and be ant dinner. And talking about dinner, I'm going in and I'm going to go and get some lunch because it's way too hot out here, and I'm hungry, so see you later.
Sad times. Sad times, no tomato festival.
It's just these little
Worms.
wiggly worms and these stupid woodlice. It's ruining my tomato passata and my pizza sauce. That's what it's doing.
It's no good.
No, but I am kind of curious, with all these tomatoes that I've had to chuck in the compost bin, next year, how many volunteer tomato plants am I going to have?
They're going to be everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tomatoes going to be everywhere. Yeah, so that's the garden's cracking on. I think we'll do maybe a land tour and a catch up in the next week or so of where everything is, how everything's growing. Because the garden's obviously shot on loads. We're in the middle of a bit of a heat wave at the moment, aren't we?
A bit of a heat wave is an understatement.
It's quite warm anyway. That's why we're hiding under the umbrella here.
Yeah,
So-
I wanted to do the video from inside the swimming pool, but then we would have actually been in the sun and that wouldn't have been very good. But yeah, it's not so hot today. I think it's about 31, isn't it?
Yeah,
But the last couple of days it's been about 36. It's just,
been quite warm.
yeah. But before that we had a bit of a damp stretch, hadn't we, as well? So that's really been good for the garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could do with some rain though now, to be fair. If the weather gods are listening, enough of this sun. Let's have some rain, please. For a couple of days, anyway.
Yeah. Just
A
for
good
couple of days.
deluge for a couple of days would be good, wouldn't it? Just to get everywhere moist again,
Yeah.
and then back out with the sun again.
I think that the meaty chickens would appreciate a bit of wet, wouldn't they? And a bit of
Yeah.
a cool down.
Yeah. So chicken news, and this is going to lead on to something else as well. Briefly, we lost one of the chickens early last week. We think it was to the heat. Emma came up to check on them, and one of them was just dead. It was a particularly hot day, and these chickens, which have sort of been bred just purely for making breast meat, are a bit susceptible to heart attacks, so we believe. And all we can do is put it down to the heat and a poorly heart, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was dead. So that took us down to 14. But we'd lost one previously prior to that as well. While we're in hospital, and obviously Emma was running backwards and forwards from here to hospital to come and see me. Not a lot was going on in the garden, so a predator took advantage of our absence, didn't he? And dug his way into the chicken tractor and nabbed one of our chickens.
Yeah, not just dug under. I actually tried in 3 different places and couldn't quite get under, and it was a 4th place. So he must have been having a good dig for a while, but he'd left 2 little presents of scat near to the chicken coop, and thank you to Google image search, we found out that actually it's European pine marten.
Yeah, which we didn't realise lived around here. And I think in hindsight, the egg-laying chicken that we thought was lost to a fox was probably lost to the pine marten as well.
Yeah.
Considering the size of the hole, and in hindsight, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely, and the fact that only one was taken, which is unusual behaviour for a fox, and apparently more sort
In line
of
with the
normal
pine
for...
marten.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm really quite excited about having pine martens around here. I mean, I know in the UK they're sort of limited to the Highlands of Scotland or the forests of Scotland, and they're really rare. And I think they're quite rare in Spain as well. That they're just in Galicia and the Asturias and sort of across to the Pyrenees.
Yeah.
So I'm apart from losing a chicken, I'm quite happy we've got pine martens knocking around.
Yeah, and Scarlett says that she saw one, didn't she,
Yeah.
as well? And perhaps about a week or 2 later,
Yeah,
she described what.
I'm surprised how big they are.
Yeah, about the size as a cat.
A cat.
Our
Yeah.
cat's quite small, so probably bigger than our
Yeah,
cat.
yeah. So apparently, just reading up about them, they'll take lambs in the spring as well. So it just shows you what sort of size these parts of the weasel family, I think. They're quite big, so that's quite nice. Apart from losing the chicken, but I think now we know we can guard against it, can't we?
Yeah, absolutely. We're being a bit more vigilant with if the chicken tractor's left on uneven ground, for example. We're putting things into kind of the weak points, aren't we?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, absolutely.
which they're not at the minute because they're in long grass and they're loving life, pecking at all of that long grass.
Yeah.
So they're doing all right at the minute.
So I've had quite a few sort of encounters with wildlife. Really, I was driving back from collecting Zane. He was out in town with his friends, and it was dark when I was driving back. And as we were driving back along the road, we just see these 4 eyes in the road, sort of bouncing around all over the place. So I slowed down because I thought it was probably going to be a cat or something. As I slowed down, it was two little fox cubs just tussling and wrestling in the middle of the road with these massive fox cub ears. And again, you know, foxes, you know, they take chickens, they take lambs, and so, but you know, just seeing these two fox cubs playing in the road, I thought it was amazing. Really nice. I tried to get my camera and my phone out quick enough to take a picture of them, but they did stop and stare at us as we drove past, but as I got my phone out, they sort of disappeared into the undergrowth. But that was lovely to see.
Yeah.
And yesterday I was, like we said, it's been hot. I'd been on my bike, so I jumped in the pool when I got back just to cool down, and 10 storks flew over, and they were circling right above the pool. I think they were eyeing me up, thinking I was like a big fat catfish in there or something. They were going to come down and gobble me up, but yeah, I was just lying there. I could see these 10 storks just going around. There's obviously a thermal here, and they were getting lift off the thermal, and then when they got to a height, they just flew off over that way. So that, again, that was just something I've never seen before, and it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah. We've also discovered that we seem to have a hedgehog living in our garden.
Oh, yes, yeah.
When we first moved in, not long after we first moved in, we were in the garage and we heard a rustling, and it kind of weirded us out, like, well, no one's been in there for years, so it's just mice. And then the next thing we know, there's a flipping hedgehog,
baby
little
hedgehog.
hedgehog. Yeah. And we've seen him now maybe 5 or 6 times. Just normally he's curled up in a ball, but the other night I've got a photo of him fully out with his little beady eyes staring at me like, what do you want? Anyway, last night we let the dogs out for a wee before we went to bed, and normally we let them out at night on their leads, but for some reason
They just went.
they just legged it, and Ernie would not come back. Next thing we know, I hear a yelp, and he comes out with his tail between his legs, and a hedgehog spike on his face, and some blood coming out of his nose. So Ernie has also discovered the hedgehog and found out that they are not to be messed with.
There's a lizard just run across there.
Is there?
Yeah. I just seen his tail. Oh, we saw a worm. Talking of lizards, we saw it's either a snake or some sort of slow worm on the front of the house the other day, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get a photo of it?
I got a video of it, but it's not a particularly good video.
One. No.
I tell you what, I did take a photo of though. We came back from going out with some friends late one night or early one morning, and there was just one singular glowworm on the drive.
Oh, there was, yeah.
Yeah, I got a photo of that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really look like very much, but he was just bright green in the middle of the dark, in the middle of a bush,
Yeah,
and
there he was.
Yeah. So yeah, we've had lots of brushes with.
Oh, and also, if I can find this, in the local news in Lugo, we're in Lugo province here, but it was another part of the province. Somebody caught a bear on a trail cam.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know if the brown bear, whatever, Pyrenean bears or brown bear. I don't know. We'll have to have a look and see what they are around here. But we'd been told previously there are wolves in the area. I mean, we've never seen them, never seen any sign of them. We never heard them howling or anything like that. But to see this bear on this trail cam less than 50 miles away from where we live, that's amazing, isn't it? Hey.
It's amazing. It's a little bit scary.
Yeah, but I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
It is very cool.
Yeah, so bear news. There we go.
All animal news. Just
Animal
generally.
news.
Generally
Animal
news.
Yep. So before I went into to hospital to get my rewiring done, changed the oil on the van, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, did that with my own bare hands.
I have nothing to add to this story.
Have you not?
Not really.
No,
There was lots of huffing and gruffing and groaning and moaning when you couldn't get whatever it was
get
off.
the oil filter off. But yeah, we got it off, and I got the oil change. I will undertake these small little jobs on the van. I've changed the calipers before on it, haven't I? And
yeah.
The brake pads and stuff like that. So it was due an oil change, so I thought I'd give it an oil change. Yeah, so that went okay after a bit of mild blaspheming.
Not mild. Went on for a good couple of hours, love.
So along with all the other little jobs we have around our little farm, one of the other things I need to tackle at the minute is need an oil change on the van. I've overran it by about 1,500 kilometers, so it's well due a change. I don't mind. I wouldn't say I'm any experienced mechanic, but when I was young, I used to have an old Mini like guys of my age, I suppose, used to, and we used to me and my mates used to mess around with the engines and stuff like that. So I don't mind having a go at doing routine stuff like changing the oil. I've actually changed the brake calipers on this as well. Brakes, discs, that sort of stuff. Don't mind having a go at that because it's all fairly common sense stuff, really. So I'm going to have a go at changing the oil on this on our VW Transporter. So the oil filter in here is that round black thing down there. Never come across one which faces up before. All the cars that I've ever done any work on, which granted was a long time ago, talking original Minis and stuff like that, the oil filter always faced down or sticking out, never upwards. I've tried to get my hands on this and twist it round, but obviously it's stuck. So I have purchased this contraption, which is on my socket set. So hopefully this will loosen it off. I've got everything else ready to go. Got the oil, got the filters. I've got a bowl underneath, ready to catch the oil. So wish me luck with that. Just as an aside, this is a socket set my folks bought me when I first moved out of their house when I was 20. I always remember my dad saying, take good care of it and it will last you a lifetime. So here I am at 51, 30 years later, still using it. I've lost one socket, I think, out of the whole lot. So yeah, pleased with that. Okay, so I managed to get the oil filter off. Took a bit more than I would have liked, to be honest with you. This where is it? This tool here fouled on some of the plastic housing down below. I don't know if you can see it just here. It fouled on this this plastic here, so could literally only turn it about, I don't know, 3 millimeters at a time, and I wasn't sure for a start whether it was moving or not, because I didn't know whether it was slipping or whether it was moving. I did manage to get my arm down there and give it I could feel it go very, very slightly when I gave it a good twist with my hands. So I knew it was slowly moving, but yeah, I was just worried that the filter would sort of disintegrate under the pressure, and then I'd be in a whole lot of trouble. I've had that before in an old car where the filter just disintegrated while I was trying to undo it. I just ended up driving a screwdriver through the bottom part of it here and then just turning it with a screwdriver. Old cars had more space. There's no space to work in this really. But there we go. So the filter's off, the oil's draining. Hopefully it'll be fairly straightforward from now on. Okay, that's it, all done. Oil change, new filter on. Just took it for a spin, sounds all right. Put it on some level ground just to check the oil level. Seems a bit low, but there was contradictory advice or searches when I googled the actual amount of oil in here. It was either 5.8 or 6.3. I put 5.8 initially, didn't seem enough. I only had 6 litres, so there's 6 litres of oil in there. It's about halfway up on the oil measuring stick. Is that the right word? The oil level indicator sticky thing. So I'll have to buy another litre and just top up 300 ml just to make sure there's enough in there. Yep, there we go, all done. Job's a good one. So quick change of location because camera keeps turning itself off because it's too hot. So we've moved into a bit of a cooler, more shaded area.
It is nice and cool just here, actually.
Yeah, this table's red hot though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Felt it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Where were we?
Fiesta season is on a go-go at the minute, isn't it? Now it's well and truly summer.
Yeah.
Seems like every weekend you could go out and go to a fiesta in the various villages and towns around about. And we went last night, didn't we?
Yeah, it was amazing. Just like a local, well, a local village near to where our friend's son has got a bar, and he says, "Oh, there's going to be a octopus festival. Are you coming?" And we're like,
I don't think it was an octopus festival. I think it was a festival where they served octopus.
"Yeah,
Okay. It's like they're all worshipping octopus down there, all dressed up in their 8-legged octopus outfits.
is that the picture that I painted?"
Yes, it was. Yeah, I
Oh.
think so. Yeah.
Okay, well, we were worshipping the octopus. We got there specifically early so that we didn't have to queue for it.
Yeah, it was lovely, wasn't it?
Yeah, really nice. So there was a massive marquee out with tables all underneath it, and then there was a van at the back with a table in front of it where they were serving drinks,
Beer, warm beer.
warm beer, yeah, warm lemonade. And then there was one of the octopus stands that's normally at the markets in the towns doing all the octopus. And then you described it earlier as a lorry that was like a transformer, and they just drive the lorry into the tiny little village, and then it transforms itself into an amazing stage, doesn't it?
Yeah.
With the canopy on the top and all the lights in it, and like there's a
Screen.
screen in there, then another platform with it, and like it's just amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
How many people did you say were working there?
There was 9 people. I counted 9 people on stage, so either singing or dancing or playing various instruments.
Yeah, 3 trumpets. That was amazing.
2 trumpets and a saxophone.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think it was.
sorry.
Yeah. So big on the old trumpets. They were good, weren't they? The band was good.
Yeah.
And then there was 3 guys sat like we are here on a table with all computers in front of them, and I guess they were doing the lights and the smoke and all the effects on the screen that was behind the singers.
Yeah, I guess turning microphones on and off, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So it's it just amazes me that you get an aldea, so a little village with like 3 or 4 houses in it, and they've got this massive setup, haven't they?
Yeah.
There as well. And there was a separate van with a disco and another one with a bouncy castle.
Yeah.
And then over this side there was like a mobile amusement arcade with air hockey tables in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean there must have been a couple of 100 people there from, I don't know whether that's their parish and everybody came in.
Well, no, because the kid's bus driver was there.
Oh, he was there, wasn't he?
He's from one of the villages nearer to us than
over
there.
Yeah.
So it must have been just people going for the pulpo.
Yeah.
So like I say, it was a pulpo fiesta. But yeah, this weekend is our local fiesta. It's not been done for 5 or 6 years. But for this year, for whatever reason, they've decided to put it back on. So Friday we've got pancetta and music. Saturday morning they've got mass at the church in the village, followed by vermouth, and then in the afternoon we've got a big football match, followed by music again, and then on Sunday morning again there's mass at the church, and then
Lorry.
Sunday morning there's mass at the church again, followed by vermouth, and then everybody goes and has dinner with their families on the Sunday. So yeah, we're really looking forward to that. Actually, it's going to be different to see it from the other side, kind of the setting it up, and not that we've been asked to get involved in anything. I'm sure we will be. I'm sure we'll get a phone call tomorrow to get roped in.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be plenty to do. Yeah, so we didn't know about this fiesta, and like Em said, it's not been run for 5 or 6 years. But about a month ago, two young, I say the young lads to me, but they're at Emma's age. They pulled up on our Sunday morning, pulled up on our drive, papped the horns, like everybody does here. So you have to go out and go and see what they want. I didn't recognise them. Emma recognised one of them. But we don't know them, do we? We don't know the names or anything.
No, not got a clue.
But it turns out, well, they turned up and telling us about the fiesta, and then says, can we have some money for it? So us being English, immediately the old defences went up. It's like, right, we're being scammed. It's a scam.
Yeah, it's just some sort of English tax. I think we're stupid. They want some money off us.
But as it turns out, two great lads, and it was genuine. And they came back last Sunday, and we made our donation towards it, didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
And they were just going around the parish. Our parish is called Arcos. Going around the parish, knocking on everybody's doors, asking for a donation so they could pay for Optimus Prime to turn up with his transforming stage on the back, and the disco. And we've not got pulpo, we've got their they've got pancetta. So similar sort of thing, just a different food.
And because we've made a donation, we don't have to pay for the food for the.
Do we not?
No.
Is that right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that, seeing it from a different side, and catch up with old friends and hopefully some new ones.
Definitely some new ones.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll understand them a bit better this time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you will.
You will.
Yeah. We getting there slowly. Or I'm getting there slowly. But I was saying to Em last night, I think these sort of fiestas, the villages or the parish puts on, it must be amazing for sort of community spirit and getting everybody together. Something that I think's probably missing certainly in the UK. The last time I could think about doing anything like that was during lockdown, where for V75 was it, where we all sat on our drives and waved to the neighbours across the way and shouted to them as we all sat drinking Pims and cucumber sandwiches.
Yeah, with our handmade bunting.
Yeah, with our handmade bunting. But yeah, I mean that was so. I think they did have that we were on holiday, weren't they? I think they did have in the party in the road while we were away.
Oh yeah, for the Jubilee.
For the Queen's Jubilee.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Yeah. But it's not an annual thing, is it? It's not. Like I say, you could go to one here every week if you wanted in the summer.
More than one a week.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we are going to this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quite easy.
I think it's missing.
Yeah.
And like I say, I think it's great for a community.
You said that you had some sort of community thing though, where you used to live with your mum and dad when you were younger.
Yeah, on the house. I think because the house, it was a brand new housing estate, I guess. But this is back in the 70s or perhaps early 80s. When was the Silver Jubilee? 78, something like that. The Queen's Silver Jubilee. I think it was probably for that,
Yeah.
And my mum was on a committee, the estate committee, and they put several fundraising things on, I think, and they put on. I think it was for the Silver Jubilee. They had a big marquee down on a bit of open land, what we used to call the green. And during the day there was stalls, a tombola, and people selling homemade cakes and cheese straws, that sort of thing, chucking stuff at coconuts. And then at night there was a band or a disco. I can't remember because I would have only been quite young. That was it. I think.
Was there only a one-off thing then?
I think so. I can't remember because it was a long time. That's the one that sort of stuck in my memory. I could have only been like 6 or 8 or 10 or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's sort of a vague memory. I can clearly remember the marquee, down on the green.
Definitely not an annual.
No, certainly.
celebration.
I think it's a shame because there's a lot of sort of community spirit lost for that.
Yeah,
I think.
absolutely. And I think that it says a lot about us being British, not us individually. That somebody came with an amazing thing that they're putting on in our village, and our first reaction was,
Scam.
is this a scam?
Yeah. But now we know. And also sort of community spirit, like I mentioned earlier. Obviously I was in hospital for, was it a week?
Yeah.
I was in hospital for a week with, as I said earlier, and everybody around, all our local closest neighbours, they came and took the kids. When you were in the hospital with me, they came and got the kids and took them back to their house and cooked them dinner, and they dropped around and they brought you food round and stuff, and they were constantly ringing up to see how I was.
That's what it was,
everybody, every day, rang you or sent you a message?
Absolutely,
Yeah, to see how it was.
Yeah.
Can I do anything? Can we help?
Yeah.
Do you need anything doing?
What can I do with the children? One neighbour made me go and hide the barn key somewhere and show her where the chicken food was and the hen food was and where we did the water, so that if I needed her to, she could come and look after them for us.
Yeah, water the tomatoes and stuff like that.
Watering all the plants and what do you do here and how do you do this and all this kind of stuff, and do you need me to sort the dogs out? And in Spain, I don't know whether about the rest of Europe, I can only speak for Spain, specifically for Galicia, but the side bed, Adam was in a bedroom with one other guy, just a 2-person bedroom. That was novel. And then your little side chair, your little guest chair, turned into, well, it kind of was like a
recliner with a seat,
recliner,
the leg
so,
thing. Yeah.
And it was expected of me, and all the neighbours thought that I would stay with Adam 24/7. And so they were like, right, well, we'll look after the kids, we'll look after the dogs, leave us your keys, take some clothes and off you go. And
it's like, well, that's not how we do it in England, is it?
No.
You have visiting hours and you stick to the visiting hours.
But no, there was a visiting hours for the children. They were only allowed to go in the afternoons, but they weren't strict, were they? You said that the guy that was with you, the first guy that was with you, still had guests up to like midnight.
Yeah, did yeah.
Chit-chatting away till midnight, because that's just the Spanish family thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
So
stuff happens late.
Yeah, but yeah, I genuinely couldn't believe the love and the support and the community that the people were giving when...
You considering that 10 months ago, nobody knew us.
No.
The house was empty. We were gallivanting around Europe in a motorhome, and and now you get that sort of people running around after you and fussing around after you and making sure you're okay. And and they're not young people here either. It's not young people doing it.
No.
Everybody's in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Some of them, and they bend over backwards for you.
Yeah.
It's incredible, really.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible.
Can't do enough for you.
So, we promise this time that we'll be getting more videos out more regularly, because I'm backfiring on all cylinders now, quite literally. And so we've got lots of jobs lined up, haven't we? Which we were going to be recording and sharing with you lovely people. So yeah, thanks for tuning in again. Sorry it's been a few weeks, but genuine reason this time. No bar related reasons.
So on that note, we'll catch you next week. Ciao.
Bye.